Hey guys, welcome back. It's me Swastika and welcome back to the third video of discussing the President of India with me. Obviously, you already know about me by now, so I'm not going to repeat that. But if you're new in here, I would request you to please press the subscribe button. That's the red button at the bottom of the video screen. So, the references for this have been drawn from Laxmikanth, Indian Polity, chapter number 17, the Constitution of India, and my class notes. This topic is super useful for people who are preparing for NET, UGC, and civil services exam, and all the other government papers like CDS and all those papers, because questions from Indian polity are regularly asked in all of these papers. So in this video, we will be going through the third part of the President, which deals with the constitutional provisions of the President. We will discuss some important articles. We will also go through a list of important presidents, and we will quickly recap everything we have done till now. So without any further ado, let's begin. So while understanding the constitutional position of the President, we understand that the Constitution of India has provided for a parliamentary form of government. We know that we have a parliamentary form of government which has been provided to us by the Constitution of India. In this government, the President is only a nominal head, and the Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers are the real head. The 42nd Amendment Act bounded the President to the advice of the Prime Minister and the Council. The 44th Amendment Act reversed this, yet reconsidered advice binding. So, in this parliamentary form of government, the nominal head is the President, and the Prime Minister and his Council are the real head. The 42nd Amendment Act basically bounded the President to the advice of the Prime Minister and the Council, but the 44th Amendment Act revisited that. So when we discuss the constitutional provision of the President, we understand that the President has no constitutional discretion, but he enjoys situational discretion under the following situations. 1. The appointment of Prime Minister when no party is in clear majority in the Lok Sabha, or when Prime Minister in office dies suddenly and has no successor. Dismissal of the Council of Ministers when they can't provide the confidence in Lok Sabha. Dissolution of the Lok Sabha if the Council of Ministers has lost its majority. So in these three cases, we see that the President has enjoys a situational discretion, but not a constitutional discretion. So I will go through some important articles with you. So for this, it's important to have a copy of the Constitution of India. If you don't have it, then you can just freeze the screen on this page and take a note of the important articles that deal with the President, and you can look them up on the internet or download a PDF. So the first article that we are going to talk about is Article 52. This obviously says that there shall be a President of India. The next is Article 53, which states the executive power of the Union. This basically means the executive power of the Union shall be vested in the President and shall be exercised by him either directly or through officers subordinate to him in accordance with the Constitution. Without prejudice to the generality of the foregoing provision, the supreme command of the defence forces of the Union shall be vested in the President, and the exercise thereof shall be regulated by law. Nothing in this article shall be deemed to transfer to the President any functions conferred by any existing law on the government of any state or other authority, or prevent Parliament from conferring by law functions on authorities other than the President. Article number 54 talks about the election of the President. I'll read it out. The President shall be elected by the members of an electoral college consisting of A. The elected members of both houses of the Parliament, and B. The elected members of the legislative assemblies of the states. Article number 55 talks about the manner of election of the President. This states As far as practicable, there shall be uniformity in the scale of representation of different states at the election of the President. For this purpose of securing such uniformity among states, as well as parity between states as a whole and the Union, the number of votes which each elected member of Parliament and of Legislative Assembly of each state is entitled to cast at such election shall be deemed by the following manner. So, this is basically going further on to discuss the formula that I've already discussed and is not very important from a competitive perspective. Article number 56 talks about the term of the office of President. This basically states that the President shall hold office for a term of 5 years from the date on which he enters upon his office. This provides that the President may, by writing under his hand addressed to the Vice President, resign his office. The President may, for violation of the Constitution, be removed from office by the impeachment in the manner provided in Article 61. The President shall, notwithstanding the expiration of his term, continue to hold office until his successor enters upon his office. Any resignation addressed to the Vice President under Clause A of the proviso to the Clause 1 shall forthwith be communicated by him to the Speaker of the House of the People. So this basically talks about the term of the President. Article number 57 talks about the eligibility for re-election. A person who holds or who has held office of President shall, subject to other provisions of this Constitution, be eligible for re-election to that office. Article number 58 discusses the qualifications of the President. We know that these are A. He must be a citizen of India, must have completed the age of 35 years, is qualified for election as a member of the House of People. A person shall not be eligible for election if he holds any office of profit. Article number 59 is not mentioned there. So Article number 60 talks about the oath or affirmation by the President. Each President and every person acting as President or discharging the function of the President shall, entering upon his office, make and subscribe to the presence of Chief Justice of India. So the Chief Justice of India and his importance in terms of impeachment is mentioned here. And in case the Chief Justice of India is not present, he can go to a senior most judge. Article number 61 provides us with the procedure of impeachment. So this basically states that when a president is to be impeached for violation of the Constitution, the charge shall be preferred by either house of the Parliament. No such charge shall be preferred unless the proposal to prefer such charge is contained in a resolution which has been moved after at least 14 days notice in writing, signed by not less than 1/4 of the total number of members of the House. Such resolution has been passed by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the total membership of the House. So this also we have discussed. Article number 62 deals with time of holding election to fill vacancy in the office of the President and the term of the office of person elected to fill the vacancy. Article number 65 deals with the Vice President to be acting as President or to discharge his functions during casual vacancies in the office or during the absence of the President. So we had basically talked about this also, that if the President is not, if his office is vacant, then the Vice President will take over. Article number 71 deals with matters relating to or connected with the election of the President or the Vice President. So all the matters would be decided by the Supreme Court. Article number 72 deals with the power of President to grant pardons and to suspend, remit or commute sentences in certain cases. So this is basically C cube. That's the formula that we had devised. Article number 74 deals with the Council of Ministers to aid and advise the President. So this is actually super important, guys. Please star mark article number 74, because this basically tells us that the Council of Ministers is to aid and advise the President. The Okay, so the exact words are that there shall be a council of ministers with the prime minister at its head to aid and advise the president, who shall, in the exercise of his functions, act in accordance with such advice. The question whether any, and if so, what advice was tendered by ministers to the president and shall not be inquired in any court. So that was Article 74 for you. The next that we are going to discuss is Article number 76, which is basically in terms of Attorney General of India. So Article 76 tells us that Attorney General of India is appointed by the President. Article number 77 deals with the conduct of the business of the Government of India, that all executive action has to be taken under the name of the President. Article number 78 deals with the duties of Prime Minister as respects the furnishing of information to the President, so on and so forth. So those were the some of the important articles. Then there is Article 85, which talks about the sessions of Parliament, prorogation and dissolution. So this basically, Article number 78 states that the President may prorogue or dissolve the House of People. So these were some of the important articles, and let's move on. Let's move further and let's discuss a list of important precedents that are like popularly asked. So guys, this is the list of precedents that's like popularly asked in your objective type paper. So I decided that let's make this a part of the entire thing. So the first Muslim president of India is Zakir Hussain. The first Dalit president of India is K.R. Narayan. The president who won without any competitor is Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy. The first female president is Pratibha Patil. He was vice president and then an acting president and then the president, that is V.V. Giri. So these are some of the questions that are popularly asked, and just have to remember the names. So now let's quickly recap everything that we have done till now. So the President of India is first mentioned in Article 52. The important articles that deal with the Union Executive are from 52 to 78. So the qualification for a president is that he must be a citizen of India. He must have completed the age of 35 years. He must be qualified for election as a member of the House of People, and he must not hold any office of profit. The next is the Electoral College. This is super important because this is popularly asked. So the Electoral College consists of the elected members of both the houses of the Parliament, the elected members of the Legislative Assemblies, the elected members of the Legislative Assemblies of Delhi and Pondicherry, and so that you have to remember. The procedure for election also we have discussed that when we have to take out the value of an MLA, so we have to divide the entire thing by 1000, the entire answer by 1000, and when taking out value of one MP's vote, it's a completely different formula that I've mentioned. So when we talk about the impeachment of the president can only be impeached in case there is a violation of the constitution, and the charges can be initiated in either house, the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha, with at least 1/4 of the total membership of the house. At least 14 days notice in writing signed by not less than 1/4 of the total member of the house has been given of their intention to move the resolution. 2/3, which is a special majority of the total membership of the house, must also pass such a resolution. So this we have to keep in mind. Next, let's talk about the vacancy. The vacancy in the House of the President can happen in 4 cases: by the expiry of his term of 5 years, by his death, by his resignation, or his removal by impeachment. The next that we are going to discuss are some of the powers that the President has. I have already done this in great detail in the previous video, but I'm just going to quickly recap. So the first one is obviously the executive power. The second is the legislative power, the fact that he can prorogue, summon, dissolve any of the houses. The next is the financial power. He can appoint finance commission. The next is the judicial power. For that, the formula is simple: PRC cube C cube, which is pardon, commutation, R cube is respite, remission. After that, there is military power, which means that he is going to be the president, is going to be the supreme head of the three commanding forces, which is Army, Navy, and Air Force. And the next is diplomatic power. He can appoint ambassadors to and fro from India to other countries. The next is the emergency power, under which we had discussed the three articles, which talked about a national emergency, the president's rule, or the financial emergency. The next is obviously veto power, in which we had talked about the three vetoes: absolute veto, pocket veto, and suspensive veto. So this was a quick recap of everything I have done till now. In case you guys like my content, please don't forget to press the subscribe button. And with this, we come to an end of President as the chapter. And in case you guys want to ask any doubts, please feel free to comment below, and that is obviously my Instagram handle. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.